Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how you can plot stock price movements in Excel, and I'm going to look at the percent change so that we can see in this example how Bed Bath Beyond did compared to AMC. So I've downloaded this data from Yahoo Finance, and the first thing I'm going to do is delete the columns that I don't need. I'm only going to be interested in the closing price, not the volume or adjusted. And I can also get rid of the dates because the dates are going to be identical because we're going over the same period. Just going to replace the closing price with the actual ticker symbol. Delete those. And now we've got Bed Bath Beyond and AMC side by side. Now, if I were to just chart this through a regular line chart, this doesn't tell me the whole story because the thing is we're looking at actual dollar values, right? So because these stocks are not too far away from each other, between $10 and $50, there's more or less. It's this axis works, this scale works. But if we were looking at much different stocks with different price levels, then it may not be helpful. And it also gives you a bit of a misleading line chart here, because while AMC started at 50, it crashed all the way down to less than $10. And so these two line charts are basically around the same place, even though Bed Bath Beyond didn't drop as much as AMC in terms of percentage points. So this is where using percentages is useful, especially when you're comparing one stock against another. And so I'm going to create a couple extra columns, one for Bed Bath Beyond percent change and one for AMC percent change. And so to do this, I'm not going to do anything for, well, the first value I can just cheat and just take this value over this minus 1, and that's my percent change. It's effectively 0, right? Because there's no change. But what I'm going to do is freeze the denominator. And now what I can do is copy this all the way down. And so it's always comparing against that first number, the 25.19, the closing price on September 7th. If I go all the way down here to September 6th, 2022, the change since that starting point is 72% in the negative. So I'm going to do the same thing for AMC, except obviously I'm going to copy this over so we're looking at the right column. And so again, same sort of thing. We're comparing against AMC's starting point, 47.83. And so if I go all the way to the bottom, here we can see it declined by 83% versus 72% for Bed Bath Beyond. So now what I'm going to do is chart this. Again, I'm going to go Insert and just select the regular line chart again. Right click, select Data, uncheck the dollar values because I just want the percent changes. I'm going to hit OK. And now this is a bit better, but now I still got this axis here right in the middle of these negatives. So I'm going to right click, Format Axis, and under Labels, select Low instead of Next Axis. I was going to push it down, so get it out of my way there. And I'm going to change these colors so they're the same. So Bed Bath Beyond was blue. Here it's gray, so I'm going to change it to a solid line. Looks blue. And then AMC looks a bit more reddish. And so now we can see a bit of a different story here where, when we're looking at absolute percent change, we can see that AMC has performed worse than Bed Bath Beyond. So it's down 83%. So it's far lower. You can see below this minus 80% line, whereas Bed Bath Beyond is closer to 72% in the negative. Whereas here, the gap doesn't look that significant. And another thing you won't notice on this chart, because it's going on dollars, not percentages, is it doesn't show us the story of Bed Bath Beyond, which, was down 40% from its starting point here in, the early part of the year, and then spiked up back to being positive, right? We don't see that same change because we're working on a different scale over here. We're looking at sheer dollars. So that's why we'd want to use percent changes like this to plot this data, because especially if you're using with the ticker that has a very high price, like let's say Tesla, that's in the hundreds, it's gonna mess up that scale and not look very good. Whereas if you're looking at percent changes, it's always going to be in a percent change, so it doesn't matter what the stock price is, because the percent change is always going to be relative to the starting point. And in this case, the starting points we're using are these prices as of September 7, 2021. So we're always comparing the percent change against that first value. So that way we can see the cumulative effect and those changes. So that's the benefit of using a chart like this that shows percentages. And it's a really easy calculation. Again, all we're doing is taking the current price, dividing it by that starting price, subtracting 1, and that's our percent change.